We're having that kale Brussels sprout salad stir-fried again. So I didn't want mine to be like a stir-fry. I wanted to try it with the fruit. With the fruit. Yep. With the cranberries and pumpkin seeds that it comes with on it. I didn't put the sesame oil and stuff into the stir fry, so James is just going to have to put that on if he wants it to taste like that.
I think Opie caught a wasp there.
I think so. We're dining with a few of the dogs, as you can see.
And Fred, you're getting rude here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know what to talk about today.
Well, I was thinking, CBC seems to be a never-failing source of offense. What were we listening to on the radio today? It was some aggressive propagandist, was it not?
I don't know.
What was that idiot talking about? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Crept into our mind at the same time. Creeping odor from an outhouse.
Well, there were some kids that addressed Parliament.
In England. In Britain. The United Kingdom, I think, is the official designation. And it was Greta Thunberg, and there were others. So this is 2019.
And honestly, I don't know if it's effective for other people. It certainly isn't for me. I have to admit.
Get lectured by...
by little children. And it's like, oh,
well,
you
I
know
think
so
she's
much
a teenager or something like that. Yeah, that's
about climate change compared to us who have been around forever. And
it is such a... I keep on wanting to use the color, but got to avoid that because...
aggressive propagandist thing to do. Because honestly, it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, whether you hear it from a child who's an aggressive propagandist or an adult who is, it's basically the same sort of thing. They really don't have a grasp on reality yet. Well, the aggressive propagandists who are adults,
don't.
They never
just by
will.
definition, they
won't.
Just don't. They'll never grow out of it.
No.
It's always pushing themselves to the forefront. It'll be interesting to see what happens to poor Greta. Has she been used by them? Yeah, but then she'll end up presumably a user as well, pushing herself up to the forefront. I never would have thought of that when I was her age.
No.
Speaking to Parliament and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, go on. You don't remember much about that poor individual who was yipping and yapping about it, right?
Well,
so that's who I want to talk about.
I know you do.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I really don't care much about them. Here's what I'll say about Greta Thunberg. You know, like she's been misled, and she'll end up, I greatly fear, misleading lots of people as she gets older, but not much wiser. As we've said before in this program.
Well, I think she's lining herself up to be a spokesperson of some sort for her whole life, rather than actually working.
And actually
learning
researching
about
stuff.
how
that's what it'll
the
be.
real world is.
But that's what aggressive propagandists are like. It's basically me. You know, they're upstaging everyone. Me. Look at me now. Look, ma, no hands. Look, ma, no brain. You know. Yeah, but you're right. That's what she set herself up to be, this kind of spokesperson.
So do I care to listen to some aggressive propagandist as a child who will just grow up to be
even more aggressive, sadly.
yeah, and completely vacant.
Yep.
You know, honestly, she shouldn't be addressing Parliament. She should be reading and learning right now.
Learning, and eventually doing some sort of research. So it's not as though we don't want to listen to people and stuff like that. I mean, there are few people in the world, few couples in the world that expose themselves to as much garbage that we disagree with. And I mean, witness the fact that we're listening to the CBC. But
and she's saying, well, it's a great line. You know, we may not have a future because of a few people who wanted to make crazy amounts of money.
Yeah, and see,
but it's not exactly.
The first part she gets right. There may not be a future.
Yeah.
But the main problem
it's not because
with
of
this
the few people who want to make lots of money.
Yeah, it's a bunch of people who want to make a bunch more kids. Mm-hmm. That's the real problem. And that's something
problem.
that get on the stick.
So how many siblings do you have, Greta?
Well, that's not really a problem.
No.
She comes from Sweden, and they probably got something like 0 population growth when it comes to the indigenous people there.
And in any case, she can't do anything about how many siblings she has, how many children she has.
Yeah, that's a real key. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it starts with you, Greta.
And number of children that the people that want to immigrate into her country have.
Let's get it straight. The Hutterites get it straight. When they settle in a place, they have colonies. It's a colonization. Eh? It's colonization. It doesn't matter if it's people of color or not. We're not going to call it an invasion per se, but it's colonization when you move in. It's just it's the old thing about Gloria Steinem basically came up with the formula. She didn't use the term. What's sauce for the gander is sauce for the goose. So what you do is you reverse positions. And when people walk into another place and they have a different culture. See, culture is related to colonization. Check it out, please. When you have a different culture and you walk into a place, and when you are exploiting the resources, you know, they're not so much going to move into agriculture. You're doing cultivation. They're related. Cultivation, colonization, cult. They're all related. You don't think so, but don't get up on your high horse and say, oh, he's making a mistake there. Check it out. They're all related. So cultivation is like mining agriculture, but it also, as far as I'm concerned, includes mining any sort of resources in a place. When you move into a place and have a different culture, when you move into a different place, and if it's a large movement, it's colonization. Okay? I'm being very kind when I say it's not an invasion. There are lots of people who are of the populist persuasion who will use the term invasion. Now, there are some people who are walking in. I hope it's a very small minority. I hope, well, I have no guarantee, that consider it an invasion. So there's one particular culture group that says the immigration is the other side of invasion. I'm not going to use the term that they use for invasion, because you can check out to find out which culture group it is, but that's the other side of the coin. Now, what do they mean? Not exactly clear, but from what I can make out, it means that if you don't allow them to come in, they're going to be doing invasion. So, yeah, check it out. Check it out. It's not me saying it; it's that individual saying it, and it's not just like some person picked out randomly. It's a high up representative, okay, and defending the rights of this culture group to move into a place. It's basically, the argument is, from what I can tell, is if you don't allow us to come in peacefully, we'll invade you.
Try to eat wasps.
Well, anyway, I just hope it's a small minority. So I'm going to use the term colonization. Colonization can be carried out peacefully, relatively peacefully, as it was done in North America. It was largely as a function of the indigenous people getting all sorts of horrible diseases getting wiped out and things like that. There were lots of cases of invasion, but that's largely what opened up things for the colonists coming in. What is it? Settler, colonialists? Just call it colonization. Settler, colonial. They'll come up, these crazy aggressive propagandists. It's a cottage industry. No, it's just an industry nowadays.
Well,
because they're sitting in universities.
They want to try to feel like they're not completely parasites, off of the passive people who are supporting them entirely, which they are. They're
sitting at
absolutely
universities
parasites.
just getting.
So they spend their time. Oh, what new words can I come up with to punish the
people who put me in this place?
Yeah, exactly.
They've got to learn it, and if they don't learn it, then we're going to witch hunt them.
Yeah.
I'll have a lot of fun doing that too. It's not just creating new words; it's witch hunting people who can't keep track, or there's some people who just couldn't care to keep track of all this sort of stuff. But the flunky who was on the CBC is a very dramatic individual. And what I mean by that is he's into the performing arts. Okay? And so don't run with it. And I don't know which, I just realized that they might be suggesting he might be there might be some sort of gender thing. I'm not going that route. I'm not the least bit interested in going that route. It's not my nature to go that route. So what I'm suggesting is this person I'm just informing you that this person is an aggressive propagandist. That's what I mean. They're into the performing arts, and they're upstagers. So he was talking about a couple of days before Greta. So I think what he was saying is, I'm upstaging Greta because I was doing this stuff in Britain a couple of days before. You caught that too, right?
Yeah. And so anyway, he's on a bridge, and they Waterloo Bridge, okay. And it was so horrible what the British did. The bridge, I guess.
They blocked the bridge, and presumably it's when people wanted to be using it. So here's the deal. They put in solitary. Oh my God, it's so awful. You think Flunky really was put into solitary?
I don't know. He said
I suspect. The thing.
It wasn't that many hours or anything.
Like if I were with a bunch of flunkies like that, I'd want to be in solitary. I want to.
Yeah, exactly.
But my suspicion is they were just herded into some place.
Just give me a good book, and I'm good to go.
But it was something like was this idiot saying 20 hours or something like that. What I'd be worried about is getting herded into some place where I didn't have a washroom facility. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where you with a lot of people are coughing and hacking and so on and so forth. This was before COVID. This 2019. So solitary, I don't think so. Like solitary is like when you're 20 hours. Like I presume person was allowed access to a lawyer and all that sort of stuff, but. Like solitary, that just sounded so dramatic, melodramatic. Okay, so it's apparently, according to him, I don't trust him farther than I could throw him, shall we say? I was going to say kick him, but I don't want to suggest violence be used against flunkies like this or against anyone, really. So. Yes, so he was upstaging Greta. You picked that up by 2 days too. It's